Hi, my name's Flying Penguin 10. If you're here for the computer part of the video, look down onto the info and I'll have a time when the computer part of the video starts. Yeah, but I've just made a video. I haven't made a video in quite some time. I've been actually working on this computer. I've been trying to get some money so I can get all the pieces for it, and I haven't been able to make a video lately because my camera broke. So that was bad. But I'm making a video right now. So yeah, that's good, I guess. Yeah, this computer that I'm building, I'm sewing all the parts, but the parts can change. I might change them up just because of any price hikes or anything, or maybe I get edgy and want to get a computer sooner, so I might swap to like a cheaper processor, which wouldn't be a smart idea, but it would be fine. I mean, I'm using a laptop right now, and this is actually a pretty good laptop, but this laptop's sort of new. Can't really do much on it though. But anyway, I haven't been making videos because my camera broke. I already told you that. So I'm gonna try to. So when I'm get a computer, or if I just buy a game capture device, if I get like just bored of waiting to get a computer, something which I might do, then I'll just start recording videos, and I'll be able to get them in much better quality than I have been able to. So that would be pretty nice. Yeah, if you can see here, this is a picture for a new game. It's a pretty cool game. It's coming out in August, I think, or July. I don't know. But yeah, it's a pretty nice game. But now, I'm going to start the video. Now it's time for your around $700 Intel i5 computer build. To start off the build, I put in an i5 4670K clocked at 3.4 gigahertz. I'm pretty sure that's right. It's one of the newest i5. It is the newest, I think, i5 processor. Unless you're watching this in like a couple months when they come out with the like 5000 series. But right now, it's the newest processor that you can get with i5. It's, I think, the best one. I can get it from Micro Center because I live by them. If you don't live by them though, you have to put in like $20 more for it, which isn't too bad. But since I live by one, I can just get it for $180, which would be a very nice price. This processor is the best processor like for games if you're on a budget but have enough to get an i5. It like won't cause any bottleneck, pretty much. It shouldn't cause any bottleneck, and if you're obsessed with speed, you can overclock it. Just don't fry your system. So yeah, you can get that. It'll run really well, and yeah, I think it's a great processor for the price. If you wanna get like hyper-threading experience, which it pretty much it'll double the amount of cores, I think, by making your computer think it has more cores. But it works. But you need an i7 for that. The i5 has no hyper-threading. The hyper-threading, I think it can help in some games, like DayZ maybe. It also helps if you're going to do a lot of video editing, but the i5's okay for it, unless you're going to be doing a ton of video editing. Or then you had to sell out like extra. The i7 is insanely high price. It's like $300 right now. It's just way too much. I can get if you live by a Micro Center, you can get the i7 though for $250, but that's still a pretty big hike up from this. So I'm gonna stick with the i5. The motherboard is a ASRock B85 Pro 4 LGA 1150 Intel B85. I already said B85. It's a ASRock motherboard. It's the new LGA 1150. Actually, it's not that new. It's yet like a year old. Or is it 2 years old? I don't know the times. But anyway, it's a ASRock motherboard. ASRock is supposedly, I hear it's a decent company. Yeah, so I think it's supposed to be a pretty good motherboard. It's a reliable one, and it's pretty cheap too. It's like 70 bucks. And it's been this way for a while, so it's a really nice price. It can support up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. Sophie, go away! What else can it do? It's a motherboard. Oh, yeah, it has USB 3. Yeah. I don't know a ton about motherboards, but this one, I just picked out the one that looked the best. And this one has a lot of good features on it, and it's a ATX, not a mini ATX or a micro ATX. Wait, is that micro ATX? Yeah, I think so. But anyway, that's the motherboard I chose. It has good reviews, and it's ASRock. I'm not really going to do any overclocking, so I didn't go with a Z85. Which if you're going to do overclocking, I think you should, on your CPU at least, I think you should get a Z85. But you can overclock with a B85, but it's not really made for it. I don't know. I'm just not going to do any overclocking, so I never really thought about it. But that's the motherboard. I really don't know a lot about motherboards, but this one seems pretty good. Yeah. The RAM I chose was a PNY. I don't know if that's like a name like Pony or something, but PNY Optima 8GB, 2 by 4 gigabytes, so there's 2 sticks of 4 gigabytes. It's 1333 megahertz, I guess, DDR3 RAM. Yeah, it's not that fast. It's pretty slow RAM, but the price is really nice on it. It's like 60 bucks right now, which is good. I mean, I'll probably swap this because by the time I get enough money for this thing, the sale will go off and there will be better RAM on sale for like around the same price, so I'll probably swap it. The RAM doesn't matter too much as long as you don't get one that like sets your computer ablaze or whatever. But I'm sticking with 8 gigabytes because that seems to be the new standard, especially with the PS4 and the Xbox One both having 8 gigabytes of RAM. So, and it also helps with some video editing, which I'll be doing because YouTube and other stuff I have to do with video editing. I had to use that a lot. But anyway, I might upgrade it. But I'm sticking with 2 sticks of 4 2 sticks of, sorry about that, 2 sticks of 4 gigabytes because 2 sticks of 8 gigabytes is like 120, and that's a lot for someone who hasn't made of money. Yeah, that's a pretty big amount. So I might upgrade it to like 16 gigabytes, but for now that's okay. It'll run. So yeah, now on to the next part. The hard drive I chose was a Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte hard drive. It goes at 7,200 revs per minute. And I really hope I said that right. Yeah, it's actually, in the picture it says it's 60, but it's actually, well, according to PC Part Picker, it has, like, it's $55 right now, so I guess there's a coupon with it. That's why I chose it over Western Digital. There's, like, a brand that's, like, cheaper than this, like, called Hitachi, but I don't really know how reliable that is, and I tried to stick with brands that were more well known, so that, because this is going to be my first computer I build, so I didn't want it to like burst into flames because of like a ghetto brand. Yeah, so it holds 1 terabyte at like 55 bucks, so it's a pretty good deal. On to the graphics card. The graphic card I chose was an AMD Radeon R9 270 with 2 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. It's the MSI variant, so it actually has really nice curling. It's a gaming series of theirs, which is why it looks really nice. This card is great. It's pretty much equivalent to their R9 270X. If you overclock it, it is. Like, it will pretty much do the same. And it's a lot cheaper, especially with the Bitcoiners. Because those cards are really overpriced right now. And this one stays at like the price it was set at when it came into stores. I think it came into stores like November, December, around that time. I think December, like of 2013. But the card pretty much maxes out all current games at like 40 frames, I think, on 1080p, like with max settings. With anti-aliasing, you'll have to, you won't want to turn that all the way up because that eats up frames. But I think you can set it at like 2 and it will stay at like 30 frames or something. So if you want that, you can. It does extremely good at Battlefield 4. It gets like, with max settings, I believe it gets like 50 frames, but I might be wrong about that, but it does extremely good at Battlefield 4. And it will only do better as they like keep on improving Mantle. Yeah. So by the way, since this is an AMD card, it can use Mantle, and that looks like a really promising engine right now once you fix all the bugs and stuff, and all the glitziness it has. It will be able to run games a lot smoother, so your cards will actually get more powerful, because it will be able to run games with more FPS, which will be really nice. And that will help if I decide not to get the i5 and go for a cheaper processor, because it makes the games more GPU dependent. Yeah, this card is extremely nice for the price. I really like it, and it just went on sale, so I'm pretty excited about it. It doesn't have NVIDIA's Shadow Play, which is a big feature that I liked from NVIDIA. And it doesn't have physics. Well, you can offload physics onto a CPU, but it will eat up like 20 or 10 FPS. It will just, but you can, like if you're just playing a single player game, to make it look better, if you lower some settings, if you want the physics, and you have an AMD, because you can use physics with AMD CPU, graphics cards, which is a very nice thing. So I could actually, like if I was going to play Metro last night, but that's not important right now. But the card's a very nice card. It just is extremely good for the price range it's at, and I'm pretty happy for it. It comes with, I think it has some kind of, if you're interested in recording it, you can use like MSI Afterburner. I'm pretty sure that's free to record it, although it will affect the FPS pretty bad. But there's also a program that's coming out called AMD Radeon Pro, where this guy called John, I forgot his last name, but he's working on it, and he's trying to make it better. It's called Radeon Pro Infinity, and it will be able to it will be like Shadow Play for AMD cards. He's made some videos about it. I'll have a link to his channel because he's the developer, I think, of it. So you can see like how the effects that it'll have, because it doesn't eat up frames. It's like Shadow Play for AMD, which is very, very nice. Especially since this card is the best card you can get for like 180. It's better than the GTX 660, which is, it's just a lot faster. Not a lot, but significantly. So yeah, on to the case. The case I chose was a Corsair Carbide series 200R black gaming case. It's a mid-tower case. It has front USB ports, and it's the case. It's actually $40 right now. It has a sale on it, like even more so than it shows in the picture. But honestly, you should be fine with a case. You don't have to pick this case. It's Corsair, and it has good reviews. That's how I picked the cases. I didn't get anything with 1 stars, but the Corsair case had like around 4 stars. So yeah, I think it's a pretty good case. That's all you really need to know about cases. On to the PSU. The PSU is a Corsair CX Series CX600. It's a 60 watt ATX. I don't know what those numbers mean, but it's a 80 plus bronze, so it's actually pretty efficient, so it won't waste a ton of power and cause your build to go up like crazy. It's actually, like right now, it says $50 after $20 rebate card, but it also has a $12 off coupon, which leads it to what does it lead it to? It leads it to $38, which is very nice for a 600 watt PCU. because like for a graphics card, like the R9 270, it needs at least 500. If you can't get this 500 watts for the R9 270, it's still fine enough. It's still good enough to overclock it. Definitely not to crossfire it, but it would still be fine, good enough to overclock it. And it might have some problems if you're not getting like a very efficient one. But like if you're buying some weird ghetto brand, but it should be good. You should be able to overclock the graphics card to increase the performance of it. So I don't really think it's, well, actually you can fry a graphics card, I guess, but they're a lot tougher than CPUs. Never mind. So 600 watts, I might be able to, you know, like if I wanted to get another R9 270 and crossfire it. I never really haven't thought about that though. I could in the future if I wanted to, but I'll probably just, if I want to upgrade the graphics, you should probably just sell your graphics card on like eBay or something and buy a new one, because like one graphics card will always should be better like than two graphics cards, like if one of a higher class. So yeah, I don't recommend crossfiring. Oh, but the motherboard is crossfire compatible. I completely forgot to say that. Okay, now on to the last piece. The last piece, it's Windows. It's Windows. It's like 90 bucks on, I forgot what website, but it doesn't really matter. It's just Windows. Just go on PC Part Picker and like look on for the cheapest Windows at 64-bit. Remember to get a 64-bit. Definitely not 32-bit. Or it will just like, you won't be able to use more than 4 gigabytes of RAM and it might screw up with other applications. So that's all you need. Just get 64-bit. Yeah. And now for the total. And now the price total. You had to pay, as soon as you buy it all, you'll have to pay $7.59. Actually, that's not true. You get discounts of $12. But then with $25 of mail-in rebates, which you'll have to do later, it will come down to $7.22 and 2 cents. Which is, I think it's a very nice price for a computer with a graphics card that can pretty much max out 1080p games. It will run really nice for probably a couple years to come, because it's an Intel i5 for 670K. It's the fastest i5 you can get. The motherboard is a pretty stable one. The PSU is a pretty stable one. I didn't want to get one that was ghetto. So the case is a pretty solid one. Everything on this is pretty good. Windows, I think they have free updates now. But yeah, everything on this is really nice. I picked out all the pieces that were the least likely to blow up on me. I could have gotten this for cheaper, but I didn't want to use ghetto parts that I was really worried about. But yeah, if you're gonna follow my build, you might want to do some research, because by the time you're watching this, sales could be very different, and the prices might go up. So you'll have to do some looking on your own to see the price differences. Like RAM, the RAM that I picked out will definitely change by the time I get enough money to get this build. So I'll have to pick out a different 8GB RAM. It's probably faster, which would be nice, but yeah, it will be fine. RAM's RAM. So yeah, I think this is a pretty good price for it, because most people who make videos like this, they have like Intel builds at like thousands, or just 700 or 800, or I mean, like $1,000 with the i5 is ludicrous. I mean, you should at least get an i7 if you're gonna put 1,000 in. But anyway, this is Flying Penguin 10. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.